guys, welcome back. I hope you guys have been well and you guys are doing all right. Today's video I am going to be reviewing the ColourPop times Mulan collection, and I was also lucky enough to actually receive the PR box from ColourPop. So everything you see in today's video was gifted to me from ColourPop, but this video is not sponsored. They did not ask me to do this video. I just wanted to review it because I personally was super excited for this collection, and I mean I review pretty much every single ColourPop collection, but this collection specifically I was just extra excited for. But yeah, we're gonna talk about all the products, give you guys my thoughts, my recommendations. I have swatches, comparisons, and then you guys will see the 3 looks towards the end of the video. So if you guys are interested in all of that, then just continue watching. So first, I just want to show you guys the PR box because I think it is so beautiful. There is so much detailing in the packaging that I just have to mention it. So this is what the PR box looks like, and you open it up, the sword, and it just opens up like this. Get the lip products on this side, the pressed blushes on this side, and then the palette, and then the 243 Beauty products that I did take out. But just look how beautiful that is. The packaging on the box itself is really beautiful, and everything about this collection is just, there's just so much detail to it. But because there are a couple of things in this collection, I'm just going to talk about the products one by one and we'll go through it like that. So of course, the first thing that I want to talk about is the Mulan palette. This is in their 15 pan format, and I have realized that all of their Disney palettes come in this formation. It's like in a bigger palette, and this palette is $22 US. You get a range of mattes, metallics, and their foiled shadows. So I think all of us had a similar thought when we saw this palette, is that this palette is pretty neutral, nothing really stands out. It's a pretty basic palette, and while I was playing with this palette, I did feel that. I did feel like with all 3 looks I could have created with other palettes that I already have. None of these shadows really scream out to me that are very special, and you guys will see in my comparisons that there are a lot of comparable shades. I think there was only one shadow that I couldn't find a comparison for, but I think for everything there is a similar shadow from ColourPop already. I wouldn't say there's a palette like this as a whole from ColourPop, but separately you definitely can find these shadows in your collection. I don't think anything really stands out to me, and I also think that there is a lot of foiled shadows in this palette. There's pretty much only one metallic, because I would say Undefeated is pretty much a foiled. There's about 4 to 5 foiled eyeshadows. To me, that is just a lot of foiled eyeshadows for one palette, and my take on the foiled eyeshadows, I personally like them more as like eyeshadow toppers. So I would like a metallic base and then apply the foiled shadow on top, because I feel like the foiled eyeshadows alone, there's a lot of sparse areas when you apply them, so I feel like putting it on top of a metallic works a lot better that way. I would have much preferred if all of these foiled were just like plain old metallics. I just feel like metallics are much easier. You just wet your brush, apply them on, but with the foiled you have to use your fingers with it. So I wasn't really a fan of that, like the amount of foils in here. But I do think the mattes are good. You get your warm tones on this side and then more of your cooler tones on this side. So I think for those of you guys that like cool tone eyeshadows, then you might lean towards this palette a little bit more because there's finally some cool tones. I feel like we don't really get a lot of cool tones from ColourPop. I personally don't mind that because I don't like cool tones. So this side to me is not my favorite. I actually did find Honor to be a little bit patchy. So yeah, just with everything being said, this palette really was not my favorite. I'm not saying it's a bad palette and it doesn't perform nicely, but because of the amount of foiled metallics and the cool tones that I did find a little bit of patchiness with, overall, this palette is really not my favorite. I'm not saying that this palette is not going to get any use. I think I definitely will get a lot of use out of it just because of the tones, but definitely a palette that I would use with another palette. I probably wouldn't use this palette on its own. So I'm just gonna leave it at that because I'm gonna keep going in circles about my thoughts. I think you guys get the general gist of how I feel about the palette. So now I want to talk about the lip products. We have 3 different lip products in 3 different formulations, and these are all in their Luxe family. So first we have their Luxe liquid lipstick in the shade Strong Chi, and that is the lip color that I'm wearing right now. It is just like a true red, which is so perfect for this collection, and this is 9 $9 US. The Luxe liquid lipsticks are very comfortable on the lips in my opinion. I love them much more than all of their other liquid formulas. This would have to be the most comfortable on me, and this wasn't patchy. It's a beautiful red. Is it a really unique red? Maybe not so much. I feel like there's just so many reds on the market, and ColourPop has some really good reds in their liquid family, like the Ultra Matte, Ariba, La La Land. There's so many good reds that they have that I'm not really sure if this is like a must, but if you really do love the Luxe liquid formula, then this is a red to definitely get, because I feel like in their Luxe liquid family they don't have a red like this. We then have the Luxe Gloss, which is also $9 US as well. This is not my favorite shade of a gloss. It's more of a sheer gloss. It's not an opaque gloss, and if you guys have been watching me for a while, you would know that I do prefer more of an opaque gloss. This is definitely a gloss that I would put on top of a different lip color. I would say that it has more of like a golden base, but it has little pink and gold reflex in there. Although it's a very pretty gloss, just personal preference, it's not like what I typically would wear. And then lastly, we have the Luxe lipstick in the shade MULAN. I think that's how you say it. We first have to talk about the packaging on this because they actually changed their bullet shape. It's in the shape of Mulan sword, and there's just a lot of small details on this actual bullet, which is so beautiful. I personally really love this shade. Like, it gives me layover vibes, and you guys know layover is one of my favorite Luxe lipsticks. I would say it's a little bit more pinky though, not as nude, but this is definitely a lip color that I could wear every day. It looks very nice against my skin tone, so I think overall this lip color will suit a lot of skin tones. But if you do want to get all three of the lip products, then you can get it for $25 US in a little bundle, which does work out a little bit cheaper. And then we have the two pressed blushes, which are $12 US each. And let's just talk about the packaging once again, because if you actually combine the two blushes together, it creates a little image of the mountains, which is so cute. This is what I'm talking about. There's so many little details to this packaging, and everything about this collection is just top notch. So the first blush is Good Luck Charm, and again with the packaging there's the imprint of the flower in there, which is so beautiful. Like, it makes me not want to use the blush because I don't want to get rid of that imprint. I think for this blush it's a very pretty shade, and I would have much preferred it if it was just a plain old matte, but I definitely like it. It's not a blush that I really expected to like. I feel like this shade, it looks more almost like a bronzer or like an eyeshadow. I didn't really expect it to be a blush, but surprisingly I really do like it on my skin. And the other blush is called Matchmaker, which is the blush that I'm currently wearing. And when I saw this blush, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna really like it. It looks very ashy in the pan, but once you apply it, like, it's super pretty. It's super natural. I feel like this is a blush that you could wear every day. Again, it does have those glitters in it where it's gonna give off a shade and it's not a complete matte, but I really like this blush. Surprisingly, I actually like Matchmaker more than Good Luck Charm. I think maybe it's because it's a little bit more natural looking. And the last two products are from 4th Beauty, which is their skincare sister brand. We have the Jasmine Face Milk and also the Gold Lip Mask. And the Gold Lip Mask is a completely new product, but you can get these two together for $17 US. For the face milk, I actually really like. I also like the scent of it. I have used the face milks before. I used the strawberry one and I really like it. It's very hydrating. I mean, I've only used it a couple times, and with skincare obviously it takes a little bit longer for you to see results. So I really did enjoy the face milk and I'm gonna continue using it. I pretty much use this as like a moisturizer because it's just so hydrating. And then we have the lip mask. I only got to use this once because my lips are once again irritated. I felt like last week it fully healed, but then something happened and my lips are once again very irritated. So I only used it once. I don't want to say it was this product that made my lips even more irritated, but I think I shouldn't have used it when I did because my lips are not fully healed. I want to give this a fair shot once my lips are healed. They don't look too bad right now because I do have product on it, but it's just very hard to talk. My lips feel like numb. My lips are just very sensitive is what I'm trying to say. So I want to give this a fair shot later in the future once my lips has healed. So I don't want to say too much, but I do have high hopes for it from that one time that I did use it. It felt very hydrating and very lightweight. I hope they will come out with more lip masks in the future that aren't scented and don't have glitter in it, because as my lips are getting more sensitive by the day, like seeing a lip mask that has glitter and it's like heavily scented kind of makes me a bit nervous. So I hope they can come out with like a non-scented one that doesn't have glitter in it. And the last product in this collection that you can purchase that I do not have is the fan. I think the fan is so pretty. I kind of want to get it, so maybe with my next order, if it's still available, I might pick it up. But the fan is $10 US. So that was my quick little rundown on each product. Sorry if it felt like if I was talking really fast. New Zealand is currently on lockdown and everyone's at home, so it means there's a lot more outdoor noises, and I'm just trying to get through this filming day because it's been a rough one already. That was my review. I want to give you my recommendations, the products that I personally love and would recommend to you guys. So I have 3 products as my top favorite recommendations from this collection. So the first one, in no particular order, is the Matchmaker blush. I think this one is just like a very pretty everyday blush, very wearable. I don't think it's gonna be wearable for all skin tones. Definitely if you're a lot deeper than me, you might not be able to wear this, but I think if you're my skin tone or a bit lighter than me, then this is a really pretty everyday blush. Second favorite is the Jasmine Face Milk. I really enjoyed this. I think it was very hydrating. My skin has been a little bit dry recently, so it just makes my skin feel very quenched. And last favorite is the Luxe lipstick in from Mulan. I think this shade is just super pretty. I'm sure if you guys know my taste in lip products, then you probably saw this and was like, yeah, Judy's probably gonna like that. I see myself wearing this a lot, so I would highly recommend this one as well. Those would just have to be like my top recommendation. Like if you're on the budget, like, and you want to get something, I would say those products would be my recommendations to you. I think this collection overall was very beautiful, very well done. I think the biggest thing was just like the eyeshadow palette that I was a little bit disappointed in, but everything else works well. All of these formulas we have tried before and we all love. I think it's really just personal preference and what products that you want in your collection. But that was my review. We can now move into the swatches, the comparisons, and then the 3 looks. To get started with the first look, I'm going to start off with the shade Brave, and I'm going to pack this on to my lid space first, and then I will slowly start blending that up towards my crease area. The shadow is pretty much a matte with a lot of specks of glitters in it, but from the past, usually this kind of shadow, once you pack it onto your lids, the glitters typically disappear, but with this shadow specifically, once you pack it on and even if you blend it out, the glitters still remain and you still see that. So I think it's like the perfect all over lid shade, so perfect for this eye look that we're going for. I'm also going to bring the shadow onto my lower lash line as well, just sweeping that from the outer corner right to the inner corner. Now I'm taking Honor and I'm going to use this shade to define my lash line and also create a very soft out thick wing. This is going to be the base shadow for the liner because I do want a very softened out effect, so just layering different shades is going to help achieve that. I also bring this onto my lower lash line as well, mainly just at the outer third and towards the middle. I'm not going to take it all the way in. But now taking True, I'm pretty much going to be doing exactly the same thing, just defining the lash line and the wing. But this time I'm going to focus it closer to my lash line, and using a darker shadow on top of a medium shadow is going to give you more of like a gradient effect, and it's going to look a little bit more smoky and soft. But with True, I'm only going to run that at the outer third of my lower lash. And then just taking Striker Match, I'm going to use this to highlight my inner corners as well as my brow bone. To complete the eye look, I just go in with a dark brown eyeliner to tightline my upper lash line. And for my bottom lash line, I use the ColourPop Honey Dude eyeliner. For my blush today, I am using Good Luck Charm from the collection, and I am just applying that to the tops of my cheeks. Because this blush has a little bit of shimmer in it, I did skip out on highlighter. And this, you guys, is the first look completed. For my final lip pairing, I went with the Luxe Gloss in the shade Phoenix. But this does complete the first eye look. I wanted to create something very simple and very natural, just enhancing my natural features. So I didn't use any lashes. The eye look is pretty soft and simple just because Mulan's makeup in the live action from the photos I've seen is pretty natural. Although this is obviously a lot more glam than her makeup. This is definitely like an everyday look for me, something that you could wear to work, to uni. So I hope you guys enjoyed this first look. And now onto the second look. I'm gonna start off with the shade Strength, and this is going to be our transition shadow. I'm just going to work that into my crease using windshield wiping motions. You can see that I am getting some of this shadow onto my lid space as well. And then once you have all the shadow there, you want to start blending that up towards your brow bone to get a very diffused look. I also do take this shadow onto my lower lash line as well. I'm just sweeping that from the outer corner right to the inner corner, making sure at the outer corner you are connecting the shadows. Moving into the shade Guided Spirit, I'm going to start packing this shadow onto my lid space. I'm going to pack on the color there first just to get the pigmentation, because that's where I want the most darkness to be, and then I will start blending that up towards my crease area, up towards my brow bone. I'm also going to bring this onto my lower lash line as well. I'm just going to press this up against my waterline. And now taking Undefeated, I'm going to use this shadow wet. I'm first going to place that at the center of my eyes, and then I'll start blending that out towards the outer corners, pretty much just diffusing this shadow out, but I do want most of the metallicness at the center. I also take a little bit of this onto my lower lash line as well, again at the center, just so it can, you know, tie in with the shadow on our top lid. Now going into Loyal, I'm just going to take a little bit on my finger and I'm going to tap that on again right at the center of our eyes just to enhance Undefeated. It's going to bring out a little bit more of those red/gold glitters and just give the eye look a little bit more dimension. And I do take a little bit of this onto my lower lash line at the center as well. Now just taking the BFF liquid liner in the shade Grande, I'm going to use this to give myself a wing and also line my lash line. But then I will take a bit of the shade True to help smoke out this liner to make it a little bit more diffused, you know, not too harsh. Just taking a brown eyeliner, I'm going to use this to tightline my upper waterline as well as my bottom waterline. Then I am taking Striker Match to highlight my inner corners as well as my brow bone. And for today's blush, I'm going to be using Matchmaker, just applying that to the tops of my cheekbones, blending that back towards my bronzer. And this, you guys, is the second look completed. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I definitely wanted to create a red eye look using this palette because it is just the signature color that you think of when you hear Mulan. So I hope you guys enjoyed this red smoky eye. Alright you guys, so we are now on to the final look. I'm gonna start off with the shade Strength, and this is going to be our base color slash transition shadow. So I'm just going to work that into my crease using windshield wiping motions, blending that up towards my brow bone. I'm then going straight into eyeliner. I'm taking this one from UZU. I'm just going to use this to line my lash line and also create a wing, because I will go into the shade Definite and I'm going to use this to really smudge out and create a very thick dramatic wing. I want this eye look to be very fierce, so using this black to smudge out the wing eyeliner is going to help achieve that look. I go back and forth with other brushes to help me blend and smudge this out. Also with the eyeliner, you will see throughout the tutorial that I did create a fake inner corner, but at the end I decided to remove it just because I felt like it was a little bit too dramatic and I didn't really like how it looked, so I did take it away. But if you were just curious of what I was doing. But now taking Be Swift on my finger, I'm going to press this at the inner third of my lid space. I'm going to press as much pigment as I can, and then I'll go in with a brush to really diffuse this out. I'm pretty much just going to take this all over my lid space. I'm just trying not to cover up the eyeliner, but pretty much where the eyeliner doesn't cover, this is where Be Swift is going. Moving back into the shade Strength, I'm going to run this all over my lower lash line, right from the outer corner to the inner corner. You want to make sure you are connecting all of the eyeshadows. And also going back into Definite, I am just pressing this up against my bottom waterline, right from the outer corner to the inner corner once again. And lastly, to complete the look, I just took my liquid liner and I use this to tightline my bottom lash line. You just want to be careful that you are not getting this liquid liner into your actual eyes. Just using it in your waterline, it should be fine. As for blush today, I went with Matchmaker and I'm just applying that to the tops of my cheekbones and blending that back towards my bronzer. And this, you guys, is the third look completed. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This one out of all three is definitely the most glam, luxe kind of look. I love the dramatic wing paired with the gold metallic and then the red lip. I feel like the black, the gold, and the red really just ties in the Mulan colors. So I hope you guys enjoyed this final look. So that, you guys, was my 3 looks. Be sure to let me know which look out of the 3 was your favorite down below. I would love to hear your feedback. If you guys did enjoy the review, be sure to give it a thumbs up. It would help me out so much if you did. But thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I love you guys. Please stay safe and stay inside. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye!